Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Ah.
Yeah, good morning and welcome back. You are listening to Kardashian Team Radio, bringing it to you hot and live like we do each and every morning. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Yep, all that is true. And the man on the other microphone, he is one of those guys that likes to hit update on his computer regularly to make sure he is up to date with all of the latest software. And that's why we call him
Good morning, Kardashian Nation. It's your boy, Chris America, coming to you live this Tuesday, April the 2nd, 2019 at 6:01 a.m. It is a beautiful day today, Loudbeard. The weather is nice. The sun will be shining. It's that time of year where spring is in the air, which means we still have some playoff runs to take care of in the NBA. A lot of stuff happened there. And back to that whole I'm glad we're in the playoff run this time because you remember how last week we were like, man, what do we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday without March Madness? Now we kind of have that feeling, don't we?
Oh, we definitely have that feeling. I mean, we've got some I guess, sandwich to eat, right? Like we put some actual meat on there. We're not just talking bread here. We're putting some real meat on it, kind of like an idiot sandwich. And I'm just letting you know right now that our Twitter line is already blowing up. You can hit us up, all you listeners out there, hit us up at Scout Team Radio, as Scott Kaiser has done already this morning. He's obviously got an April Fool's joke to play on us, even though today is April 2nd, because he's saying that the Braves won last night. And when I did all of my sabermetrics and my high-speed analytics, and I did all of my reviews of the statistics, there is no way the Braves were going to win a game this season. So I don't even know where this is coming from.
Yeah, but I do have my 1-in-161 hat ready to go.
Yes, it is up there. You know what? Is it a red hat, and does it say, like, make baseball great again, 1-in-161?
No, I feel like that's played out now. That is
Okay.
so 2016.
Oh, good point. Good point. Okay, so we'll just do 1-in-161. I like it. So, hey, you know what? At least they won a game. I feel good for them. They deserve at least that one win. I mean, I guess, what is that? The blind squirrel finds a nut? I think I can go cliche with this one.
Well, they did it in impressive fashion, though, Loudbeard. 8-0, shut out the Cubbies. Now are the Cubbies the ones that everybody has to worry about?
All right, yeah, they're done. We're counting them out already. They are out of it. There's no way they can climb back after a major defeat like that to a winless, hapless Atlanta Braves squad.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose to the Braves, that's bad. Especially 8-0.
Yeah, that is no bueno.
Yeah, so let's see some other baseball action. Dodgers still struggling. They lose to the Giants. We mentioned the Giants were making some moves this offseason. Our Rays are still red hot. 7-1. Loudbeard, I told you they'd make noise early on. They had a very slow start at the beginning of the year. The first game, they didn't play well at all. But then they've been electric since.
Yeah, real slow start with the first game. After that, absolutely on fire. What are they, 4-1 now, if I remember the record correctly?
Yes,
wow.
They're 4-1 in their last 10 games.
That's the toughest division.
It's
too.
the toughest division. They have an 800 winning percentage right now.
I can't make this math up. Math is math, right?
Math is math.
You can't take the statistics and bend them and twist them.
Where,
they are what they are, black and white, right there, 800%. Take that, America.
Where the Red Sox, 200%. 200 winning percentage right now. Boston Red Sox. Your defending World Series champions having a little bit of that World Series hangover right now.
Oh, they really are. Now, I do feel a little bad for them because they hit that buzzsaw known as the Seattle Mariners. You can't go up against the Mariners like that in that first series. The Mariners take you to town. That's what they do.
No,
Take you to the tool shed.
they take you to Japan. They take you to town. They take you to the tool shed.
They take you everywhere.
They're the only team with a better winning percentage than our Braves. They have an 857 winning percentage right now, which is just phenomenal.
Oh, it's
World
really-
Series, basically, Mariners versus the Rays. They changed the rules midway through the season. They say, you know what? These teams are just too good. We're going to just ignore this whole AL-NL thing. We're going to start a committee of 13 people, and we'll just vote for the top 4 teams in the league, and I think that's how it's going to pan out.
Well, and you bring up a good point. Baseball is so forward-thinking that they would make changes in the middle of the season like that all the time,
Oh,
right?
they
Like,
make changes all the time.
They adapt all the time, and obviously they're going to just do this in the middle of the season because right now the 2 best teams in the league, I mean, just killing it, absolutely killing it.
Remember
out
that
there.
time, like 40 years ago? It was just like not even that long ago. 40 years, yeah. I mean, 40 years isn't that long to make a change. They made that DH thing.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I mean, that was big. That was
Yeah.
a big change.
And it wasn't even that long ago. That was probably the biggest change since.
Yeah, but you know, you're forgetting something, Chris America.
What's that?
You're forgetting that there is a team out there that still has 1,000% winning percentage right now. 1,000%.
Whoa, no, timeout. Who's that?
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh.
They didn't play last night, so if you don't play,
Oh,
you can't
that's
lose.
right.
If you don't play, you can't lose. And they're sitting atop the NL East, and the unfortunate Atlanta Braves are sitting at the bottom. So, you know, the Braves obviously are not going to have any luck getting anywhere with what they've got going.
No. No.
Mm.
And over in the NL, since you're talking about NL teams, we also have the Brewers. They're at 800 winning percentage. So I think those are your top 4 teams right there that the committee can consider. I mean, if there was a committee and I was on that committee, those would be the 4 teams I vote for. Their strength of schedule is awesome. They have good
Quality losses.
wins. Well, the Phillies don't have any quality losses, so that makes them number 1 for sure.
Big time. Big time. Well, Chris America, you know, this Phillies streak, it is unbelievable right now. But I kind of feel like I need to talk about another streak. And I just have to put this out there because it was April Fool's Day. And Justin Bieber thinks that he's funny, like, ha-ha, funny guy. And he comes out and he does a little insensitive, oh, April Fool's, my wife is pregnant joke. And America is up in arms right now. So the streak of douchebaggery continues after 10 strong years of being a douchebag. He continues the streak. And yesterday, on April Fool's Day, he moved it on.
Yeah, I kind of hate April Fool's Day because you always forget it's April Fool's Day, and so you start scrolling through Twitter, and they're like, I saw one where it was the Giants and the Seahawks made a deal for Russell Westbrook, or not Russell Westbrook. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Tom Brady.
No, Russell Wilson. There we go. Yeah, for Russell Wilson for 2 first-round picks and everything else, and I was like, no, that's not fake. That's fake.
Yeah, a lot of fake news going on out there yesterday.
One of my friends put on a Facebook, he's like, I just found out I have a kid in Texas I never knew about.
And you're like, come on, dude. You put that out on the first and you want people to believe it? That ain't happening.
Yeah. But my favorite is when a woman says she's pregnant and the dad is like, yeah, April Fools. And she's like, don't worry, I'll tell you tomorrow.
Yeah. I feel like April Fool's has gotten a little too cheesy. Do you feel that way? Like, every once in a while there's the good joke. Like, yesterday I felt like the good joke was Tom Brady getting on Twitter, creating a Twitter account and announcing his retirement. Because that's almost believable, right?
Right.
Because of his age. And it's a little too like, okay, well, this could be happening. So then you fall for it. But there's so many ones out there that are like so cheesy and far-fetched that there's no way you can ever believe them. And, you know, I don't know. I like the fun of it. And, you know, we were cheesy yesterday. We had Kardashian Team Radio, which, hey, we had fun with it. Sometimes it's good to have fun. but the cheese ballness sometimes is just over the top.
Yeah, well, April's got some pretty cheeseball national month, and now it's so hard to keep tabs on all the national months, and I don't even know who does this, but I'll run down the list of what April is. April is National Car Care Month,
Okay, good one.
National Kite Month.
Like kiting checks for banks. Yep, I got that one.
Okay. National Poetry Month,
All right.
National Fresh Celery Month.
Ooh, I hate stale celery.
Yeah. National Pecan Month. Is it pecan or pecan?
Tomato.
National Soft Pretzel Month.
Ooh, yeah. Yummy.
National Soy Foods Month.
Okay, we can throw that one out.
Yep. Throw that in the trash.
It's not real. That's not real.
National Florida Tomato Month. Like, not just
Ooh.
all tomatoes, just Florida tomatoes.
Hey, it's a great state. Great state, great fruit, vegetable.
National Garlic Month
Okay, bad breath month.
and National Mac and Cheese Month.
Isn't every month?
Or no, sorry, grilled cheese.
Oh, yeah, mac and cheese, grilled cheese. What about macaroni and cheese on grilled cheese sandwiches? Like, could I make that a month?
Yeah.
Would that taste good, though? Like, if you did a grilled cheese and you put, like, a good Kraft macaroni and cheese, like the classic mac and cheese on it, I feel like that would be good. Am I crazy?
No, you're right on base. Cheese on top of cheese.
Hold on. I'm writing this down. Hold on, so I don't forget it, because this is one of the best ideas I've ever had.
What if you drip some queso on it?
Oh, man. I don't
Too
know.
far?
Is that too much cheese? Is that too much cheese? I feel like you went too far.
You'll be clogged
You
up for
took
days.
this too far.
You'll be clogged up for
Oh.
days.
Yeah.
But most importantly, Loudbeard, today, Tuesday, April 2nd, is World Autism Awareness Day. And if you don't know, I think you should just, if anything, just learn one thing about autism that you didn't already know. Because there's so many people out there, whether they have autism, their family members have autism, they have children that have autism, your neighbor has autism. Somewhere around the world, your life is affected by a beautiful person with autism. So just take a moment to just kind of appreciate what those families and those individuals go through.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris America. I like it. I like what you're doing there.
And now back to Twitter.
All right. So, moving on. I talked about Justin
World
Bieber.
Autism Day. It's really hard to segue into anything after that.
It really is. It really is. So I'm gonna do a little personal side story here. So you probably think that I'm just being hard on Justin Bieber because he's easy to pick on, right? He's easy to pick on. But I do have a personal story that I'll share that actually gives me a reason to dislike Justin Bieber. And that in itself is going to make you feel like Justin Bieber is a total D-bag for years and years and years to come. And
I hope this
so
is as good as your Tyra Banks story.
it's not. Well, it could be. It could be. So I have two nieces, and they are identical twins, and they are at 23 now. I hope I get their age right. I'm bad uncle if I don't. So they're identical twins. They both have Down syndrome, and being a special needs child, you go through different challenges, and they had some health concerns when they were younger, including cancer and just a lot of challenges as they grew up. And because of that, we try to do some things special for them for different birthdays and different things going on. And when they were turning 16, it was kind of a monumental, birthday. 16's kind of a big deal for teenagers. And I remember my sister doing this huge social media campaign. And this was 7 years ago when Justin Bieber was very, very popular. And it became kind of a big thing because they're big in the community up near Philadelphia where they live. A lot of people know him. So there was these hundreds and almost to the thousands of these Facebook posts and everything that was being shared, asking Justin Bieber to do something for them, whether it was something small, a shout out, or maybe make an appearance or do something for them. And so this whole huge social media campaign trying to get, a celebrity to engage and kind of give a shout out to these two young girls that, it would have been nice for them. They were huge super fans at the time. And he never responded, never, hey, let me send you tickets or let me do something. Just completely ghosted it. So I look at that and I'm like, man, I get it. Celebrities probably get thousands and thousands of these requests and they probably just ignore it, and I get it. And so I kind of was like, man, that guy could have done something, but he was a young, immature kid and never once responded. So I personally think Justin Bieber could have done something for these girls and could have been a little bit of a better celebrity. And so I look at him, and I've never, and not that I was ever a fan of his, but since then I've never really liked the guy. So not as much as cool as the Tyra Banks story as being why, but on a personal level, I'm like, that guy could have done something, even if it was a small little something, a little acknowledgement. He's got PR guys. At that point, he's on top of the world and making millions of dollars. Like, having somebody reach out as part of his team to do anything, just even an acknowledgement on social media would have meant the world to these girls. So I just don't think that he is a very good guy in general. On a side note, so now they're 23, and for their birthday this year, again, this social media thing, we're trying to get something accomplished. But have you ever seen the show Moms on CBS, Chris America?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You've heard of it? So it's got Jamie Priestley, who is legend from Joe Dirt. You have to remember that movie, I would think.
For sure. And My Name
Anna
is Earl.
Faris. Oh, yeah, and My Name is Earl. She's a legend. So she's in there. Anna Faris, who's a big-time star, and Allison Janney. And one of my nieces loves Allison Janney. And recently on Twitter, we kind of just did a thing at Allison Janney. Hey, this is, this young lady loves you. She's your number one fan. She'd love to come meet you. And Allison Janney actually hit my sister back up on Twitter and got them tickets to go see one of the shows and brought my nieces up on stage, and they got to meet Anna Faris, and they got to meet Jamie Priestley, and got to meet Allison Janney, and they did this really nice thing for them. And so I look at that as a celebrity that cares about her fans, that, she may not be considered as big as Justin Bieber was at his heyday, but when you look at what she's accomplished, she's still a big-time Hollywood star, and she did a lot for these young girls that I felt like, really deserved something. And she went over the top, and her and Jamie Priestley and Anna Faris were extremely nice to him and did a lot of special things for him, and getting to meet them was like the highlight of, kind of the highlight of their life, right? Like this was like a big moment in their life to be able to do that. So I love when celebrities do great things for their fans and great things for the community, and I think people should be recognized for that. And I think Justin Bieber is bad about doing things for his fans, bad about I don't know. I got a bad taste in my mouth from him, and I have for a very long time. He's still running streak for douchebag. So him doing this fake pregnancy thing, just another case of him being the DB.
You should write a song.
I should write a country song.
Yeah, you should say, it should be like, Dear Justin, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must not have got 'em. There probably was a problem with the post office or something. Sometimes I scribble addresses too sloppy when I jot them down. But anyways, F it. What's been up, man? How's your daughter? My girlfriend's pregnant, too. I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'm going to call her? I'm going to name her Bonnie. I read it about your Uncle Ronnie, too. I'm sorry. You should write something like that to him.
Oh, I was writing that down. Can you say that one more time?
Oh, yeah.
Never mind. We'll talk about it off air.
You can listen back. You can listen back.
I can listen back. Okay.
You can listen back on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. We're also on the Barn Burner Network. You can listen on there. Hello, Canada. Where else can you listen to Loudbeer? Oh, 12 Ounce Sports replay at 11 a.m. Oh, man, so many places that we're at.
We're everywhere, man. We're big-time stars. Big-time stars, just like Justin Bieber and his DB-ness.
Yep.
So another star out there that is going to be even bigger than he ever has been before. And that would be the I take that back. Los Angeles Chargers, Joey Bosa, because it has been announced that he is going to be making an appearance in Game of Thrones. Now the two worlds collide, the world of fantasy, the Game of Thrones fans, and the football fans. Joey Bosa's star is about ready to explode. I'm excited, man.
So I'm still on season 2.
So you
And
started it, right? Like, because you just recently, you were one of those guys that's like, I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
because Game of Thrones is one of those things where, like, if you don't have HBO, you're never going to watch it.
right.
Because you can't find it anywhere else. It's not like, oh, I missed the show on CBS. I'll catch it on Hulu or Netflix.
Yep.
So this happens a lot, though, in Game of Thrones, doesn't it? Don't they have, like, but, like, celebrities that are pretty well known or from different parts of life come into the show?
From time to time, like Ed Sheeran was a side little kind of cameo on there. So, yeah, they do. I agree with that.
Oh, well, that's good. So his celebridom is starting to take off, Joey Bosa. Does that help prove the point that, if you're in LA, you get Hollywood roles?
I think it does. I think this helps all those basketball players that are like, I want to go to the Lakers because I want my brand to blow up. Yeah, I mean, I think it can't hurt.
I mean, something blew up this year for LeBron James, and I don't think it was his brand.
Not his basketball brand, but outside of basketball, I mean, he's all over the place.
I mean, yeah, but he was all over the place before then.
He was.
But he does. Did you watch that $1 Million Mile show last week? We forgot to talk about that. I meant to watch it.
No, I didn't watch it. You mean hosted by celebrity? Yes, Timothy, Richard,
Tebow,
Hubo, Tim Tebow hosting, and then of course they have to throw out produced by executive producer LeBron James, and then they show a picture.
James.
They like span to LeBron James. I'm like, really? Like, we're making a big deal of him being the executive producer. Like, this is LeBron's show with Tim Tebow. It sounds terrible, though. It's like celebrities chasing down, like people who are athletic chasing down people that aren't athletic. Like, is that what the show is? I mean, that's what it looked like. Like, you can make $1 million if you can run a mile faster than the world's fastest mile runner. Go.
Right.
No, I'm not. Like, even on my best day.
Could you imagine if they did that with every show, like Law and Order, executive producer Dick Wolf, and there's Dick Wolf like sitting with his arms crossed and a smile on his face, or like sitting at like a jury box or something?
I think they should. Now you see, you should move out to L.A. Scout team goes L.A. We're going straight up Hollywood. Chris America's bringing hot idea after hot idea. Loudbeard's bringing the mac and cheese, grilled cheese out there. I'm going to be a celebrity chef for all these celebrities because I got the best meal in town, and you've got the best ideas. You're going to be the camera guy that invented Dick Wolf just sitting there with his arms crossed, getting spanned to on every episode of Law and Order. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I guess that's maybe that won't happen. Maybe we're not that big of celebrities.
How did you get famous? We invented the pan to the executive producer shot.
Yes.
And it's always with his arms crossed and a little smile.
Yeah, this is L.A. for you, man. This is what we do. Now, there is a guy.
The camera angle's got to be starting low and then coming up to him, as it says executive producer, and it's like spinning around him, so you get the full-on profile.
Ooh, 360, huh? You just go Matrix style, though, where he's like in the air kicking, and then you 360. No?
Too fancy. Too much money.
Okay.
We're on a budget here.
We'll cut it off. We got to cut it off at a certain point. Another guy in L.A. that, to me, is a star is Sean McVay. And he recently talked about a prank that he pulled on Cliff Kingsbury, and I love this prank. It wasn't actually on April Fool's Day, which makes it an even better prank. But for the spirit of April Fool's, I want to go ahead and bring this up. So Sean McVay goes out to dinner. This is quite the dinner. It's Cliff Kingsbury, Sean McVay, and Patrick Mahomes. They go out to dinner together. Like, I wish I was invited to that table, but I wasn't. And Sean McVay has some mutual friends with Cliff Kingsbury, and he ended up like changing, I guess, the name of somebody in his phone that he was a mutual friend with on Cliff Kingsbury's phone, and had him text, and he changed it to say Roger Goodell. And I don't know how this happens, but so he gets a text from Roger Goodell that says, I can't believe you guys went out to eat together with Patrick Mahomes. This is definitely tampering. We're going to have to look at taking away one of your draft picks. And Cliff Kingsbury legitimately thought it was Roger Goodell and thought that his picks, his first-round number 1 draft pick was going to be taken away. So Sean McVay, to help kind of ease his pain, was like, hey, you should probably call your GM right now just to let him know what's going on. And he said that Cliff Kingsbury, like, straight up ghost face, like, looked like he was about ready to, like, vomit right there at the table. And he couldn't hold the joke for too long. He's like, dude, I'm just messing with you. I switched the name on the phone. And
That's too funny.
Cliff Kingsbury literally thought he was going to lose the number 1 draft pick in the draft because he went out to dinner with Sean McVay and Patrick Mahomes.
That's hilarious.
McVay's like, this guy's gullible. Let me get this guy. I mean, it almost actually makes me a little concerned about Kingsbury and his judgment. If he's fallen for that one a little bit.
That's your head coach there, Arizona Cardinals.
All right, go Cardinals. That's why they got the number 1 pick, because they know how to pick coaches and they know how to pick players. And they know how to pick to be the last team in the league.
They're going for it.
They are going for it. A few minutes here before we go up against commercial break. One story that popped out yesterday that this one I kind of like. Calipari agrees to a lifetime contract with Kentucky. And this contract, the details is he's got an extension for 10 more years coaching. And then after that, he is a lifetime ambassador, and it is a lifetime paid role with the University of Kentucky. Now, we give shade on some of these long Major League Baseball contracts, but for a coach, for a team like Kentucky where Calipari means so much to this program, to me, locking him up lifetime, that is a perfect contract for Kentucky and perfect for Calipari. I love this deal. Chris America, what's your reaction for Kentucky locking up Calipari forever?
I think it's going to be interesting what they're going to do when that rule changes and he can't get a bunch of one-and-dones and he has to actually coach basketball.
So when do you think this rule changes? Now we're going into a different world here. So the one-and-done rule, do you think in the next 10 years the one-and-done rule will be gone? Because that's how much time we've got on this. 10 years coaching for Calipari. So in 10 years, do you think we're no more one-and-done?
I think within 2 to 3.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's getting
I
hot
think
and
it's
heavy,
getting
huh?
there. Yeah. I mean, the NBA's been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. I think we get there.
Okay. Now, I don't know if I feel like we talk about it a lot, but has anybody come up with the best solution? I mean, do we really want high school kids coming out going straight to the NBA? Is that what we want to go back to?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
We send them into the MLB. We send them to Iraq and Afghanistan. We send them to wherever they want to go. We send them to Hollywood. I think we made too much of a deal about 18-year-olds not getting drafted and everything. Look, I think the NBA or really just the NCAA should allow kids to enter the draft just like they do in baseball, and if they don't get drafted, they're allowed to come play college.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I do. I think we make too big of a deal on it. And you're right, going back to college. Like, why do you, when you declare for the draft, like, that's it, you're done, your eligibility's gone? Like,
right.
Now, they've recently changed it where I think you can back out of declaring for the draft up until the draft. I don't know, there's some weird rule with that. But you're right, why, if you don't get drafted, go back to college. Why is that a thing? Like, why are we stopping them? So, if they can go back to college, it should not be a big deal. All right, I can live with you on that.
They had to do it for baseball because if they didn't do it for baseball, they would have no players. Or they would have really, really bad baseball players. You just see a whole bunch of wild pitches and strikeouts, and it would be bad. But they made that adjustment for baseball. It's time to make the adjustment for basketball.
Yeah, but baseball's different because you've got single A, double A, triple A. You've got this whole farm system. and that you're bringing people in. You've got so much more depth. I guess NBA's got the G League, but it doesn't
No, but
quite
I'm just
feel
saying
the same.
for NCAA's purposes, you're allowed to declare, like, guys get drafted all the time in college baseball. And you see it all the time when they're playing college baseball, drafted by the Oakland A's. I mean, look at, what's his name?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. I mean, he was drafted.
Scott
and then-
Kaiser, yes.
Yeah, and then he just signed a deal, and so that's why he wasn't allowed to play baseball anymore. But if he didn't sign that contract, he would be playing for Oklahoma, and they would say drafted by the Oakland A's, first round.
Okay. It makes too much sense. That's the problem. You're making too much sense.
Yeah.
You're being too reasonable. I can't argue with you when you make too much sense. We did get one hot tweet here before we go to commercial break. Tubby Smith had one title, and they ran him out of town. Calipari has had immensely more talented teams and has one title to show for it, gets a lifetime deal. That is such a joke. Yep. Is that a joke? You think that's a joke? On the flip side, Chris America, when we come back, we will talk about another great streak in sports history, and this time it involves the women. Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. "12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst."
If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Once again, thank you all for listening in. We are Scout Team Radio. He's Chris America. I'm Loudbeard. We bring it to you hot and live each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. on 12-ounce Sports Radio. We download each episode as a podcast. You can catch it at Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, our website, scoutteamradio.com. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us, including our partner podcast network. That's Barnburner. You can check them out at barnburner.ca. Make sure you get social with us. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Scout Team Radio. And especially if you tweet at us, you tweet live on the air, we will read your tweets on the air. We like to get social. We like to get interactive. So make sure you do that. Once again, that is at Scout Team Radio on Twitter. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. We've got a great show ahead of us, and before the break, I teased another streak, and this time on the women's side, but I'm not going to get into that yet. I need to know, because I don't think I really got the answer I was looking for. I need to know, Chris America. You said you're on season 2 of Game of Thrones. Are you digging it so far, or how you feeling about it? Are you in love with it? I feel like it's a love-hate relationship when it comes to Game of Thrones viewers. Are you the love side, or are you the hate side?
Sorry, ask it again. I just sat down.
Oh, that's okay. You're welcome back. I'm glad your morning poo went well. So,
It did.
Game of Thrones. Would you
Yes.
say you loving it so far, or are you not liking it so much? How you feeling so far?
I'm seeing that it has a lot of potential. It's a little slow, but they make up for it with a lot of great dialogue and story setup and everything. The dwarf guy, he's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he's great, Tyrion. So, question for you:
Yeah.
you've gotten completely through season 1?
Yes, I watched the
The
beheading.
end. Yeah. Did that part get you, or did you see it coming?
Kind of. Once you knew he was captured and everything, it was like they didn't set it up to where you thought anybody was going to come through to save him.
Okay. You're a tough cookie here. It's a tough cookie. All right, so moving on, I'm going to get back to sports, because Game of Thrones I could talk about for hours, and unfortunately this is a Kardashian radio show, and we cannot talk Game of Thrones too often, because there was not a single Kardashian that made an appearance on Game of Thrones, which is, to me, blasphemy.
It's a tragedy. A travesty.
It's a tragedy.
It's so tragic, I made up a new word for it.
Tragedy sounds like it would be a legitimate name, and
It-
it's a
it-
Game of Thrones name right there.
Yeah.
That's one of the women that gets married off into something. Whatever. So Final Four is set for women's college basketball, and we have some familiar names sitting here. We've got UConn, Notre Dame, Baylor, and Oregon, especially this UConn-Notre Dame pairing that we have. UConn has now made 12 consecutive Final Fours. Should this have made your streak of impressive, or made your list of impressive streaks, Chris America? 12 consecutive Final Fours.
Without a doubt, making 12 consecutive Final Fours without having a committee vote you in there is impressive.
You got to earn it. Now, last year, UConn goes up against Notre Dame in the Final Four and gets upset. Notre Dame beats them on that buzzer beater. And now we're looking at, since 2011, this season will be the 6th time Notre Dame and UConn will face off in either a Final Four or a national championship. This is a top-heavy area. I mean, we're not seeing a whole lot of... I don't know. We're just not seeing a whole lot of competition, right? It's like UConn and then everybody else, and now all of a sudden Notre Dame's put their name in that conversation, and there's really not a lot of competition in women's college basketball. Is that good or bad for the sport?
I think it's bad. I don't know. I don't watch enough women's basketball to put forth an educated opinion on why this is, but basketball in general is already a lopsided sport where one team generally amasses a lot of the talent and they just kind of run away with it, especially in the NBA. So I don't know what the deal is there, and I don't know what can be done.
There's not a whole lot that can be done with that, Chris America, other than just watch it and enjoy it for what it is. And that is the legacy and the dynasty that is this UConn's women's
My guess would
basketball
be
team.
to just try to keep developing women's basketball at the youth level, and that way you have more of a talent pool to spread around.
All right. I like it. Now,
But-
I'm going to move. Oh,
Loudbeard. You're talking about Final Four for women's. We've talked about Final Four for men's. But the most important thing that happens in April is the Frozen Four, and that is set. I want to see if you can guess one team that's in the Frozen Four. Just see if you can guess a team.
The Frozen Four is the hockey
Yes.
college. Yes. I had to even talk that out because I do not watch any college hockey. And I would not be very good at this, but I'm going to guess. This is me. I'm going to give you some guesses here. I'm going to say Minnesota's in it. I feel like
Ooh.
Minnesota's always tough.
Okay, you're close. So I'm going to give
Okay.
it to you. It's Minnesota Duluth.
Okay, I was not going to put the Duluth on there. That was
No.
is that a trading company?
But you knew it was you
make
knew
underwear.
It was, yeah. You knew it was a Minnesota team. So
Yes.
that's you're already in a win right there in my
Okay,
book.
I'm gonna throw out Michigan.
No Michigan.
Okay. Oregon?
No, we'll just stop the game here because otherwise you'll just be guessing. Providence.
Okay,
He's
I would
playing
have never
Minnesota.
guessed that.
Providence playing Minnesota Duluth, and then UMass versus Denver.
Nope, never.
So absolutely no Power 5 structure whatsoever when it comes to college hockey.
They live in a different world than we live in,
Yeah, man.
which is I'm good with. That's good. Nothing wrong with that.
So that's the Frozen Four.
Okay. Well, Chris America, Frozen 4, can I move on to basketball? I want to talk about NBA for just a moment with you
Sure, why not?
because there is a interesting record, and I guess not a record, but an interesting milestone that was reached yesterday. The Milwaukee Bucks, they defeated the Brooklyn Nets yesterday 131 to 121, and it becomes that's their 45th win this season by 10 points or more. So they become the 8th team in history to do so, which, okay, so you're the 8th team to get 45 wins by 10 or more. No big deal. The previous 7 all won the NBA championship. So does this mean the Milwaukee Bucks are up into that category? And some of the other teams that they are lumped in with are those Chicago Bulls teams with Michael Jordan, these Golden State teams with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. These are the teams that are on this list that had all won championships. All 7 of them had won championships if they had won 45 games by 10 or more points. So the Milwaukee Bucks, are they now the team of destiny in the NBA?
You know, I'm a man of history and trends. So I would lean to say yes because I do think that these things matter, especially when they're so definitive like that. But I don't know. I want to wait to see what happens during playoff time, to see what happens between this Bucks and Raptors team. And then they still got to worry about playing the Orlando Magic if we can get our act together and stop losing.
Yeah, I look at this trend, and when the teams that it's compared to, I kind of think, wow, I can't believe Milwaukee is up in the same category as like the 96 Bulls or the 2018 Golden State Warriors. Like, how are they in that same category? Because I don't see them winning the NBA championship. Yes, they are a great team this season, but I don't know that they have what it takes to take out a Western Conference team like Golden State or Houston or whoever makes it to the Western Conference Finals, or to the championship. Or I don't see them getting through a Toronto or getting through the buzzsaw of the Eastern Conference that they've got to get through. So I think this trend stops with the Milwaukee Bucks. I do not foresee them winning a championship, but you know what? If I'm going advanced sabermetrics like I did with the Atlanta Braves predicting that they would have 0 wins out of the entire season, the advanced sabermetrics tell me that this is Milwaukee's season to win, but my gut and my heart tell me something different.
I like that gut and heart stuff.
It's real. That's real. You got to believe your gut and your heart. Those are the things that matter in life. And when
Sometimes you got to follow your nose.
That's true, too. That's why I invented the mac and cheese grilled cheese sandwich. I'm going to talk about it a lot because I'm starting my marketing campaign as of today, and it is going to be the greatest sandwich ever invented. So just mark your calendar, Chris America. April 2nd is one of the greatest days in American inventors' history.
Yes.
And also a great day, I found out that Vanderbilt is in negotiations with Jerry Stackhouse as their next head coach. Which
is good news for you.
Johnny Dawkins may not be poached to Vanderbilt to be their next head coach. So, Johnny, please stay. We need you to stay at UCF. You're a great coach. You're a great guy. We need this program to continue to grow and get built to be what it can be. Don't leave us, Johnny. Don't leave us, Johnny. Please, just stay with us. Jerry Stackhouse, you can have Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and I was wondering if you thought UCF was a better job than Vanderbilt in basketball. And I kind of, unless they offer him way more money, I kind of think it is. I think it's easier to recruit. Orlando's a better city to live in. And as much as people want you to believe that playing in the SEC is better than playing in the American, in basketball, I really see no difference.
Yeah, I feel like Vanderbilt's got a little bit more of a storied history program than what you have at UCF. UCF's kind of that up and coming. You look at them more for potential in the future, right? UCF is this juggernaut that's being built and grown that has so much potential. Where Vanderbilt's kind of not, I wouldn't say blue blood, but not far off from it. Like, they have some history in college basketball, and Nashville is a cool town. That would be a good job, but I don't know if this is the homer in me or what, but I don't think it's a great deal to leave UCF. There's so much
here's
more
the thing
potential
about,
here.
Here's the thing about SEC basketball that kind of frustrates me, and it's not your fault. Everybody does this. Everybody assumes that all these SEC teams have great basketball history, like Vanderbilt, like Tennessee, like LSU, like Auburn. And then when you look them up, like, Vanderbilt has one Elite Eight appearance, and that was in 1965. Their last Sweet 16 was in 2007. Like, they don't have that rich basketball history, and they've had a basketball team. I mean, their conference
since the
tournament,
60s, apparently.
Well, 1951 was their first conference tournament championship. Let's see, when did their basketball team start? It doesn't really say. I can't find a thing, and we don't have time for me to look for it. But, I mean, it's been around for 60, 70 years, minimum, and they have about the same kind of history as UCF. They're closer to
like
UCF.
they were better than that.
They're
I don't know
closer
what
to
it is.
UCF than they are Kentucky. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, that's fair. I was thinking Vanderbilt had a little bit better run in there a few times, and I was mistaken. So, all right, sticking with UCF, Johnny Dawkins doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump around. I'm going like sport to sport to sport. You talk Frozen 4. I got to talk regular NHL professional hockey. The Lightning become the third team ever to win 60 games. The record for most wins in a season is 62 by the 96 Red Wings. The Lightning are at 60 games with 3 games remaining. If they win out, they will become the most winningest team ever in the NHL. Do you think the Lightning can do it?
I think they do. And I think they need to. But then the pressure's on, right? You can't be the winningest team ever and then fall short in the playoffs. You have to win the Stanley Cup now.
But isn't the pressure already on anyway? When you're the best team in the league, like, you already feel that pressure.
It is, but it adds a little bit more, don't you think? Like, that added, like, oh man, we can't let this go to waste. Everybody will say, yeah, you're the winningest program, but you didn't win a title. Kind of like the Golden State Warriors.
Just
There's
like
that-
the Golden State Warriors.
There's that asterisk next to it.
Like, you had the best record ever, better than those great Bulls teams, but they never won they won championships, and you did not. You got beat by some scrub named LeBron James.
Just like the 2007 New England Patriots.
Yep, that's also another great example. They got beat by some scrub named Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Speaking of that scrub named Eli Manning, Odell Beckham comes out and says this has been the biggest blessing of his entire life when he got traded to the Browns. He said he was emotional at first, a lot of different emotions. He said, I'm leaving my home. I love New York. But now that he realizes the potential of this Cleveland Browns team and that he's going to be playing alongside his good old friend Jarvis Landry, and he gets to get away from that scrub Eli Manning, he knows that this is the biggest blessing of his entire life. Do you agree with how Odell feels right now?
Well, I can agree to see why he feels that way. And, man, what a time to be alive that anybody would say this is a great blessing in my life to be traded to the Cleveland Browns.
I never thought I'd see the day.
You never thought you'd hear the words.
Never once did I believe that those words would be uttered out of my mouth.
But here they are. They're uttered into existence where they'll be in forever land. As long as the internet's around, those words will be around.
I love the internet. I love it. Now, hey, another story, and I feel like this has been kind of creeping around here the last week. We haven't brought it up, but Kristaps Porzingis, there is an alleged sexual assault case against him going on right now. And apparently it's been going on for several months, but it finally gets out in the public. And I've been reading details on this story, and it's just kind of weird. It almost feels like... I mean, I don't want to say this because anytime this gets accused, it's very serious. But it seems like it's one of these cash and grab type scenarios where somebody's looking to get paid, so they want to make sure they tarnish the record of an NBA player. But the Knicks did kind of a sneaky deal. When they traded Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks, they disclosed that they believe there was an extortion case going on against Porzingis, not ever mentioning that it was an alleged rape case. So do you think that was wrong of the Knicks to send off somebody and not fully disclose the entirety of a situation going on with a player of this caliber?
I think so, and I think that there needs to be an NBA rule, kind of like we'll trade for your guy, but we want a medical exam on him first. Like, we want to know everything about him. So I think you should have like a personal exam. You should have a whatever cases legal exam on him, and I think all of that should be disclosed because you're sort of trading away your problem to another team, and then they're stuck with it.
You are, and right now, and the Mavs, I mean, they didn't really know what they were getting themselves into from what I'm reading. I mean, again, you never know, and I don't know. And the other part of this story is the woman actually reached out, and I don't know if it was her legal counsel or her personally, reached out to the Knicks and asked them to mediate the process of a settlement, basically a cash payout. So I'm going to read just a quick excerpt from one of the emails she sent to the New York Knicks. So this is her sending it directly to the Knicks. She said, after the extremely aggressive encounter, he was very apologetic, loving, and caring. Hence, the offer he made me to pay my little bro's tuition and more. Although the way he treated me was horrendous, as a Knicks fan, I do not want him to get him in any trouble with the law. I stayed back and enjoyed the rest of the time I spent with him. It's crucial to note the fun times I had with him doesn't negate the fact that he offered to compensate me as a soothing gift, even though I didn't ask him to.
Yeah, it sounds like a really sticky situation that I don't envy investigators for.
Yeah, there's many layers to this, and the Knicks are involved, Porzingis is involved, and I feel like this may draw out for quite a while. So there'll be more details on this story as it emerges. And, it's tough when it's a sexual assault case and it's a he said, she said. You hate to speculate on either side because there are so many. It's better just to stay neutral, right? Like, we better just, hey, tap out.
So
All right,
another reason to stay neutral, too, is going back to the Robert Kraft case, since we're talking about all this same typical or
you
same
love
type
talking
of
about
stuff.
rub and tugs.
Yeah. 0 charges so far of human trafficking. None. 0. Zilch. And we kind of got led astray by the sheriff of whatever county is down there in Florida. I think
Podunk.
I think because human trafficking is such a hot topic, the president loves to talk about it with his wall and everything, that this guy felt like he needed to add a little more zest to this story. Like, yeah, they got Robert Kraft. Yeah, they got some little R&Ts going on. But I feel like I need a little bit more pizzazz to this. And so he throws out the words human trafficking. And now here we are months later, and no human trafficking charges have been brought, no evidence of human trafficking. And it looks like it's just a little R&T, which kind of makes me say, like, yo, Robert Kraft, what are you doing? Just take whatever legal lumps you need to take. We all get it. And move on with your life.
He should move on with his life. On that note, after a little R&T, I'm just going to say Thank you all for listening in.
Well, that's a way to end the show. Yeah, make sure once again you go to Apple Podcasts.
We'll call that
Spotify
the happy
Podcasts.
ending to the show.
Look for the Barn Burner Network. We're on there as well. 12 Ounce Sports Radio at 11 a.m. Find us anywhere, but make sure you subscribe wherever you find us. Peace.
Peace. Hey, what's up there, listeners? This is your friendly neighborhood Loudbeard, and I'm here to tell you that there's two type of people in the world, those that are on a podcast and those that want to be on a podcast. And if you are one of those out there that want to be on a podcast, one of the first decisions you will need to make is which podcast host you want to use. That's right. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, you need to check out Podbean. Here at Scout Team Radio, we have been using Podbean since the very beginning, and we absolutely love it. They are easy to use, and they have affordable options. Just go to podbean.com/STR. That's right, Scout Team Radio. Podbean.com/STR to get started today. What are you waiting for?